and you see these non-Muslim minorities, I mean, they're basically almost vanished because, I mean, look at the Copts in Egypt, for example. Look at the Copts in Egypt. I mean, look at the. I mean, of course, like for example, as an example, what I'm talking about is in one of the so-called modern Arab countries. They deal with persecution and attacks by Islamophobics, and many of them flee. And now, basically, I mean, that population is almost vanished. I mean, many of them flee, and even in America, which is a free democracy, which is a leader of the free world, many of them are too scared to speak out against to speak out about what they dealt with, to speak out about the suffering they dealt with, because they're scared of retribution from these Islamo-Fascists who are invading America from within. I mean, in campuses, many of these Coptics are too scared to speak because then these vile Muslim Student Association Islamo-Fascists basically will then of course I mean give them a hard time. I mean that's just saying the least. It'll be far worse than a hard time, but the vile Muslim student associate. But I mean, these cops are too scared to speak out in campuses because they're worried about how radical Muslims, including the Muslim Student Association, would react. Basically, because they're worried about retribution from these Islamo-fascist thugs. And I mean, again, this is a religion of peace. We always get told Islam is a religion of peace. Like with the Danish cartoons. Oh no fair. Islam's a religion of peace. And and when like with one of Pope quoted, I think someone who basically said that Islam shouldn't be spread by violence. There was a lot of rioting and all that, and they were saying Islam's not spread by violence. Islam is a religion of peace, and they expressed it with violence. And they expressed it with violence. I mean, can you get more insane than this? In the Danish cartoons, they express it with violence, with rioting. I mean, imagine it. I mean, the Arab and Muslim newspapers in Arab and Muslim countries print anti-Semitic political cartoons on a daily basis. Basically, for years and even still today. Basically, and they did it like way before the Danish cartoons posted those controversial cartoons, and even continued after that, and still do it today because the Danish newspapers stopped years ago, and it was just a short period of time. They still publish those anti-Semitic cartoons. I mean, how would the how would the dominant currents in the Arab and Muslim world react? How would they react if Jews started rioting in Arab and Muslim countries, if they were attacking shops and all that and they were and they were attacking embassies and all that? I mean, how would the Arab and Muslim world feel about that? I mean, you see all these complaints because I mean that's basically what's. It's just insane. It's just insane. And no matter what, we see these Islam apologists making really absurd statements. These Islam apologists are making really absurd statements, basically saying, oh, Islam's a religion of peace, and oh, agree with me or you're a bigot. Islam's a religion of peace. I mean, every time. I mean, when we see these Islamo-fascist thugs cutting cutting people's heads off in front of cameras, in front of public squares, for people to see, and also like sending suicide bombers around the world, sending terrorists around the world, hijacking planes and crashing them into skyscrapers. We see these same Islam apologists dismiss it with Islam's a religion of peace. These terrorists are just fanatics. These terrorists are just fanatics. And yet these same terrorists are celebrated as heroic martyrs in the Arab and Muslim world. These same fringe fanatic terrorists who are supposedly on the fringe, but these so-called fringe terrorists are celebrated as fanatics in the Arab and Muslim world, and you see prominent scholars holding their same views, because if these terrorists were fringe, then why do you see, non-Muslim populations are almost vanished? I mean, the Jews in Arab and Muslim countries have almost vanished. The Christian population there, of course, is almost vanished. I mean, in Bethlehem, for example, I mean, it used to be 80% Christian. Now it's 20% Christian. And by the way, in Bethlehem, and it has nothing to do with Israel, because it was actually an increase in the Muslim population, not in the Jewish population. So it's not because of Israel. It's not because of Israel. It's because of the Islamo-Fascists and because of the persecution from the Palestinian Authority and all that, and because of the Palestinian society becoming more Islamized, becoming more Islamized, thanks to efforts by Islamo-Fascist groups like Hamas and Islamic Jihad. I mean, the situation is just insane because right now criticism of the Arab and Muslim world is being shut up basically. Oh, because anyone who criticizes them is a bigot, racist, Islamophobe, xenophobic. I mean, this is insane. This is insane. I mean, of course they're not going to shut me up. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you can slander people, censor people, and it doesn't matter how much these Islamo-fascist thugs kill people, like what, and all that basically, and threaten people. I mean, it doesn't matter how much they do that because the one thing they won't succeed in, the one thing they won't succeed in doing is killing the truth. That's the one thing they won't succeed in doing, is killing the truth. Because even if you kill people, as like what an Islamo-fascist thug killed Van Gogh for basically showing the problems women deal with in the Muslim world, so an Islamo-fascist thug killed Van Gogh. But I mean, it doesn't matter how much these vile Islamo-fascists murder people and threaten people, and how much these Islam apologists justify and want to censor people, basically, and for saying the truth and all that. Doesn't matter how many times, because they're not going to murder the truth. Nobody's going to murder the truth, because the truth is immune to murder. The truth is immune to murder because I mean, you shut someone up there. I mean, they may succeed in shutting like a person up in like a certain part, and then and someone else is going to come. I mean, they may succeed in shutting up a person, and someone else is going to come. I mean, you murder someone for exposing the truth about Islamofascism, about exposing the problem in the Arab Muslim world, and you know what? It's going to get reports. It's going to get reports, and they're going to see other people who want to reveal the truth mentioning it, and mentioning why and all that. So you're not going to murder the truth. I mean, you may murder people. I mean, it's entirely possible you can murder these heroic truth tellers. You can harass them. You can threaten them. You can censor them. I mean, all that is entirely possible, and all that can happen. But no matter what you do, I mean, no matter what these guys do, they can't murder the truth, because they can't murder the truth because I mean, of course they can make me as mad as I want with their vicious attempts to censor me and all that. I mean, they can outrage me with all the vile stuff they do, but they can't shut me up because I'm just here to expose the truth. And if people don't like it, then that's just tough luck because the truth can hurt, and I'm just here to expose it. And you know what? And I'm here to educate. I'm here to educate the world, especially the West. But I'm here to educate the world about Islamic bigotry, about Islamic injustice. I'm here to educate the world about it. And I'm saying that, look, the Arab and Muslim world has to reform. The Arab and Muslim world has to reform. I mean, you can't be called a religion of peace when you go around killing people for switching to another religion. Basically, like, for example, that's not really what a religion of peace does. But that's what Sharia law says. You switch to another religion. If you are a Muslim, that is it. Of course, if you convert from another religion to Islam, of course, that's welcomed, basically, and all that. But if you basically leave Islam and convert to another religion, of course, like, for example, the Arab Muslim world, you would get killed for that, because Islamofascists would want to kill you for that, And that's what Sharia law says. Sharia law says if you're a Muslim and you convert to another religion, then kill that person. I mean,